What's up, you guys? I hope you're very well. I hope you're having a very good weekend. Before we start with today's video, I thought I'd show you a couple of plants that we've seen on the channel before. The first one is this rosemary that I'm growing as bonsai. You can see that new shoots are emerging. I think it's all due to the nice weather that we've been having. Nice, quote unquote nice, is it's getting warmer and warmer. And me personally, I don't necessarily like hot weather, but this plant in particular, the rosemary, and this type of rosemary, really likes dry weather, lots and lots of sun, and you can see that it's producing new shoots because of that. So I intend to keep growing it like this, unchecked, and then we're going to prune back to further develop the structure. Another little one that we have over here, it's the one that we showed with the previous one. I did a little bit of wiring on that, and something that I want to do is this little branch. I want to cut back here so that it can generate more buds that are going to fill this little plane that we got there. Yeah, so we can see that it's also doing well. And yeah, this is another thing that I didn't record, I didn't show you on the channel, but I'm working on little roses. This I remember it's like a little tiger rose variety, and when they grow, the little trunks get like a lot of character. They look really ancient, and I thought it was a good idea to start growing one as bonsai. Maybe in the future I'm gonna do something more with this, but yeah, in the meantime, I'm just growing it. Nothing else done to it. And over here we got this little guy. You can see the new needles there. So yeah, you can see that the weather has been nice over here, and yeah, it's really nice to see the new growth. Anyway, so let's get on with today's video. As you can see over here, I got many Mexican blue pines there, Pinus maximartinezii, and yeah, I've got some of these in different stages of development. For example, we got these that I've grown from seed, but we've also got a couple of them that are a bit more advanced. You see? You can see another one over there. This is all slanted because of a certain kitty that roams my garden. But you can see that it can grow nicely as bonsai. This one I'm gonna start wiring and maybe add a little bit of movement to the main trunk in the future. But one mistake, again quote unquote mistake, that I made with this one is that I didn't add organic matter to the mix, or I added very little worms castings, and I think you're hindering the plant's growth by doing that, especially where I live. Maybe where you live, the weather, it's very temperate, it's very cool, maybe you don't need to add any of that, but where I live, especially around this time of year, plants can really dry out very easily, and I think it's a good idea to add more organic matter. Anyway, so that's the first one that we're gonna work as bonsai. And another one over here, we got the second species. Yeah, I might have to pause the video because my nosy neighbor is about to start yelling, but yeah, Pinus pinea, Italian stone pine. And over there we can see that we got another one that's huge, right? You just zoom in, you can see that it's producing new candles to elongate any moment now. You can see that just like that, it's doing very well, and it looks already like a miniature tree, right? So that's species number 2. And the third one, I think I got one over here. Oh, here it is. It's a Mexican pine nut, or pinea pine. Yeah, it's a Pinus cembroides. Yeah, again, this is a little guy that I grew from seed. And over here I got another one that is in a different stage of development. You can see that it also It also lends itself very well for bonsai. I got the containers that I'll be using today. These are the ones I'm going to be working with. You can see that I cut a bunch of holes in them, and yeah, a lot of drainage, nice quality bonsai soil that I have over here. You know, pumice, lava rock, cocoa coir, worms castings. I think it's going to be very good, you know, for the three of them. Yeah, so let's start. Let's begin the transplanting process, and we'll see what they look like. Here we go. So the Mexican blue pine is the first one. You can see that I cut a little nursery back, and we're going to carefully remove the soil so we can see the root mass, which is over here. Let's see if we can see any definite, like, I can see that top root over there where the majority of the roots are stemming from. But in general, I think, yeah, you see that it's kind of difficult, right? Maybe we plant it like this. You know, in the future it'll be better. So yeah, let me just think about it for a couple of moments. I got the little container over here, a little mount in the middle, and I'll show you what I decided. Yeah, so here we go. So once I untangled the roots, I realized that we do have some roots, you know, upper in the little trunk, and this is still very young. You can see there the little, you know, I guess there is a name for these, but it's like the first few needles that it has in charge of feeding the little plant before it produces the real true foliage that we have up here. But it still got them, right? So those are the remnants of those are going to be very good to produce new roots and to, you know, keep this little baby alive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it here. I'm going to extend the roots in a radial manner like so, and I'm going to completely fill this up with soil. I'm going to do that, and then we come back. Okay, so we got the first one down. We got two more to go. And another thing that I like to do when I transplant pines, this is the soil that it came in the little nursery bag where it was planted, and most likely there are a ton and ton, you know, tons and tons of microorganisms that benefit the little plant. So what I did is I took a handful of this soil, and I added it to that strata of the soil where the roots were placed. Yeah, so that's gonna pretty much jumpstart the little plant into its new environment. Yeah, so let's continue with let's see, oh, this one, Mexican pinea pine. Yeah, so here we go. So these are the roots for this one. You can see that I think this is one little guy that I actually removed the top root from. We can see the nursery bag over there, but you can see that the root mass and the root structure is better. I did cut a couple of roots, but it's, you know, a very small part of a whole root mass. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place it here, again radial pattern, and fill this up with soil. Here we go. Okay, 2 down, 1 more to go. And if you look over here, this is the little culprit. You see there, chowing down that little blade of grass. This is the little culprit that makes trees like this be slanted, like perpetually, you know. You know, if you don't have some sort of barrier, if you don't keep them well sheltered, if you got cats, you know what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, anyway, let's continue. The last one is this little guy over here. Actually, I got like we've seen before, I've got many of these. I chose this one because it's already planted in a very similar mix to the one that I'm going to use, and also because yesterday it suffered an accident in the shape of someone knocking it over, and the substrate went everywhere. No major damages, but I think I'm going to use that opportunity to, you know, transplant it. Yeah. So here we go. Let's see what the root mass looks like. Stop. So the root mass for this fella is not the best either. I think it's going to require me to plant it like this, you know, maybe bending the roots a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay in the future, you know. I just caught a few roots, but nothing major, yeah. And the little pot that I'm going to use is now occupied by the soil that I removed from the previous nursery bags. So I'm just going to dump that into, I don't know, like a flower pot or something. Oh, this one right here. And I'm just going to fill this with soil. I'm going to show you what it looks like once it's planted. Okay, so you see there how the roots are going to grow in like a funny angle. Well, the little trunk in reality is going to grow in like a funny angle, like I said. But that's because I just, you know, forced the little roots a little so that they would lay flat on the surface of the soil, and that's going to give us that radial pattern that we want. That over there, it's a root that's going to be completely interred in the soil, and so yeah, that's it. You know, that's going to be how we plant this little guy too. You see that, you know, when I mix the soil, you do have some larger particles that, oh no, sorry, that we want to get rid of. Let me just look at this, for example. I don't know what that is. None of this. It came with the cocoa coir. Anyway, so I was saying the planting angle is, let me just, 1 sec. That's it. That's how we're gonna put the rest of the soil. Yeah, and you see the roots radially placed there on top of the soil. So I'm just going to do this by hand. I'm going to show all 3 of them, and the last thing will be to water them. So here we go. So here they all are. Pinus pinea, Italian stone pine, Mexican blue pine, Pinus maximartinezii, and Pinus cembroides, Mexican pine and pine. So I'm going to water them carefully. I'm not gonna soak them completely, you know. There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, well, we just made some cuts in the roots, so you know, in order to prevent root rot, well, you gotta water accordingly, not too much, not too little. In order to avoid that, you also need a very good quality bonsai soil, nice and draining. Not a lot of organic matter, and yeah, that's pretty much the main reason why I'm not going to soak them. And another reason is that these are pines, right? So they're tree species in general that likes to dry completely or almost completely before you water them again, right? So you just got to be careful with the watering. Keep that in mind, so that you have success with your pines. So the first couple of weeks I'm going to keep them in a semi-shaded spot. Not inside, of course. They are going to receive some sunlight. They need that to produce more roots. But it's not going to be full sun, yeah? Another thing that I want to do is, like I said, not water them and soak them completely. Just a little, and it's also a very good idea to keep the foliage hydrated, because that's what's going to drive the production of new roots. Yeah, and if all goes well, we'll have 3 very, very good little starting materials. Pines is one of my favorite species, so yeah, I hope they grow. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is one of the little DeSojo maple cuttings that I took last time, and I put this one in particular in a little pot that my girlfriend gave me, and it's already starting to produce new leaves, so I'm very excited about that. Let's take a look. So here it is. Here's the little pot I was telling you about. You saw this in a previous video, and over here, I know it's ridiculous, it's nothing, but we can see new little leaves coming our way. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I'm gonna add a layer of gardening soil so I can plant some moss here, and I think it's gonna look pretty good. Pretty cool, pretty good, yeah. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. Subscribe to my other channel if you haven't. We're over 4,000 subscribers now. So again, thank you so much. If you have any comments, doubts, questions, anything, drop them down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.